Why'd you turn off like one of
Shrub.
Yeah.
Alright. What do you think of shoujo?
So, my presentation, I'd like to first ask you, what do you think when you think of shoujo? You think Fruit Basket, like
Yes.
lighthearted slice of life comedies, or perhaps you think Magical Girl series?
Be shonen.
This is what Clamp thinks when they think shoujo.
Yay!
Yup. X. I'm looking X. It's a shoujo action series by Clamp. It's essentially the story of the apocalypse. It tells the story of a battle between two rival organizations, the Dragons of Earth and the Dragons of Heaven, both of which are composed of some of the most powerful psychics in Japan, which clearly means they're the most powerful psychics in the world, because clearly Japan is the only country in the world. Anyway, the Dragons of Earth believe that the Earth has been suffering from the strain of humanity, and that to free Earth from that strain, they will revolutionize the world by bringing about the mass extinction and essentially killing all life on Earth, with the exception of like microbacteria and other small things. In order to do this, they have to destroy 7 kekai, or barriers, that protect the world. These barriers, of course, are located in the city of Tokyo. Thus, their goal is to reduce the city of Tokyo to rubble. If they succeed, humanity will go extinct, and so will most life on Earth. The Dragons of Earth are also known as the 7 Angels. Opposing them are the Dragons of Heaven, another group of insanely powerful psychics. Dragons of Heaven have the innate ability to create local kekai to protect the area that they are in order to prevent the Dragons of Earth from destroying them. Any area covered by such a kekai cannot be entered by any but Kamui, who I will discuss later, or a Dragon of Heaven, and protects the environment inside from collateral damage. They draw this ability from their desire to protect the people dear to them. Dragons of Heaven are also known as the 7 Seals. At the center of this conflict is a man, well, really a teenager, named Kamui. He has a man with 2 futures. In one future, he leads the Dragons of Heaven to save the world. In the other future, he leads the Dragons of Earth to destroy the world. Even the most powerful seers cannot predict which future he will choose. He is one of perhaps the most powerful psychic in the cast, and he is perhaps the most powerful psychic in the cast, and he is the protagonist of the story. He's a bit of an asshole at the start, to say the least. X is ultimately an action series. But what makes the X such a masterpiece is not the action. It's really about the characters and the relationships between them. Whether it be tragic backstories, or I just need to stop reading off it. Whether it be the tragic romances or the complex backstories, Clamp really develops all the characters very well, giving them all very fleshed out backstories and so forth. I should note, however, that the romances in this series include both a lesbian romance and a gay romance. And I should also note that it's about as gay as Berserk in the gay subtext between 2 of the main characters.
It's not very much.
Actually, it's a lot if you watch it.
I did.
Yeah, it is kinda.
Never mind.
It's very gay. And X is just as gay. But going back to Kamui, I can actually tell you a lot about the story because they tell you pretty much everything that's going to happen in the prophecy. Like, one of the major events in the series is Kamui discovering that what he's been told about, that he's told that he has 2 futures that he can choose from. What he isn't told is that both futures are true. He will both destroy the world and save it, because there are 2 Kamuis. And no matter which side he picks, the other Kamui will pick the other side. Meaning, it's essentially a no-win situation for him. And that's pretty much the description of the entirety of X. It's really the story of how a cat full of characters all have destiny screwing them over repeatedly.
Just thank you. Thank me.
X doesn't really have. One thing I should also warn you about is that X does not have an ending. The manga went on hiatus at 18 and a half volumes in due to uncomfortable similarities between Clamp's portrayal of the apocalypse and real-life earthquakes in Japan. And considering the recent tsunami, it's not coming off hiatus anytime soon.
I don't know.
And so notice if you start reading this, you will probably be waiting a very long time for it to end, just like I am. I should note that X is the sequel to another Clamp series called Tokyo Babylon, and as I said in my presentation of Tokyo Babylon, you should read Tokyo Babylon before you read X. X also crosses over with some other Clamp series, but those aren't really that relevant to reading X. There are two adaptations of X. There's a movie. Don't watch it. It's a horrible movie. It's pretty much derails every single one of the characters, cuts out all the romance, and it has an extremely anticlimactic final battle between the two comedies. It basically ends with them setting up for an epic final battle, and then it ends in about 5 seconds flat as Kamui cuts Kamui's head off. Spoilers. Don't watch it. And the X TV series is a much better adaptation, though it does suffer from some pretty severe censorship. Like the dismemberment scene I just showed. It's kind of toned down in the anime, to put it lightly. And it also, in the manga, the city of Tokyo is steadily being reduced to rubble, since that's the villain's goals, where in the anime they cut it out, and that kind of creates some pretty big plot holes. But other than that, it's actually a pretty decent adaptation, and unlike the manga, it actually has an ending. So if you're interested in the series, it might actually be worthwhile to watch the anime instead. You can read X manga. It's currently licensed but online from usual sort. Well, the only place I was able to find it was Unix manga, because it seems to be fairly hard to find. As I assume Viz has actually been enforcing their copyright. It's currently licensed by Viz Media on omnibus editions collecting 3 volumes of each are being released in America as I present. Older printings of individual volumes can be found by Viz, but unfortunately those were printed left to right, which I hate. But if you're willing to put up with that, you can read those. And that's my presentation.